In John 17 verse 2, Jesus tells us in his high priestly prayer that he has the kingly rule of providence. God has given him authority over all men in the whole world. And this in turn serves his kingly rule over the church. God has given him authority over everything so that he gives eternal life to as many as God has given him. That authority over the whole world of providence serves his authority of giving eternal life and preserving and maintaining his elect people in the church. The church, in Jesus' own terminology, is the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven. And he is the king of the kingdom of heaven, who exercised the keys of the kingdom of heaven in heaven. And Christ exercises the keys of the kingdom of heaven in heaven through faithful elders on earth, by admission of members, then discipline, even excommunication of members if they remain impenitent, and then readmission of penitent excommunicated people. And through determining membership, admission and excommunication and readmission, this is the growth of the temple. The temple now as instituted church on earth. Its preservation, its cleansing. That's the way of it. The authority to engage in temple affairs. Now with that stated and understood, we move on to look at verses 5 through 7, which tell us of King Joash's first plan for financing the temple repairs. Where is he going to get the money from to do this important work? Well, the money for the temple repairs is going to come from all of Judah. Now, he's going to give some, and his sons, the princes, are going to give too, but everyone is to contribute. Firstly and mainly, this money is going to come from the collection mentioned in Exodus 30, verses 12 through 16. Verse 6 refers to this, as does verse 9. A half shekel from all the men over 20 years old. That'll gather in quite a bit. Then the parallel passage in 2 Kings 12 verse 4 mentions two other sources. One, the money that every man is set at. This is according to vows set forth in Leviticus 27. And then also free will offerings. So Joash has been reading the book of the law, the testimony which High Priest Jehoiada put into his hands at his coronation, the law which he was required to write out and read every day of his life as a king, so that he would walk according to it and not go to the left hand or the right hand. And so when the question arose, where are we going to get money from? He said, well, Exodus 30 talks about offerings, and Leviticus 24, and the whole law refers in various places to free will offerings. This is the way we should proceed. And he was dead right. That was the correct way to proceed. So he calls for the priests and Levites and commands them in verse 5, go out into the cities of Judah and gather all of Israel from them money to repair the house of God from year to year, and make haste about this matter. No dilly-dallying. Howbeit, the verse concludes, the Levites hastened it not. They didn't put the proper effort in, and the thing kind of died a death. Why was that? That the Levites didn't do as the king commanded them. And we can guess, at least make reasonable suggestions. One might have been, well, this has never actually happened in Judah before. This is a new manner of collecting revenues. It's a biblical thing that the people give these monies, but we've never gone out before to the towns and villages and asked them, and the people may not like that. And then whenever we go to it, I could see a few people on their doorstep saying, well, how do I know that this is really going to make it up to Jerusalem and take part of your building project? Maybe you guys will put some of it in the back pocket, and and we're going to have difficulty reaching the people here, and they may not really like it. And maybe if they didn't have doubts about the people giving the money, maybe they were just plain lazy, or they thought, this is too delicate a matter. I really don't care for it. So maybe what they thought about the people, or what they themselves thought. Anyway, they didn't do it. So then the king calls for Jehoiada, the high priest, and ministers a rebuke to him. Why? Have you not required of the Levites? Why have you not required of the Levites to bring in this money that's laid down in Exodus 30? Because at this point, godly Jehoiada, and he was a very godly man, had been somewhat remiss. So the first plan is rejected for gathering in the money. And the king formulates a second plan. This time the king says, we're going to make a chest. And a special chest was constructed. And we're going to, and Jehoiada saw to it that this was done, we're going to bore a hole in the lid of the chest, obviously on the top. And then we're going to put this chest inside the gate of the temple court on the right side, which is the north side of the altar, which, if you read Leviticus, happens to be the place where the burnt offerings and the sin offerings would be slain. And they made a proclamation, verse 9 says, through Judah and Jerusalem, to bring into the Lord the collection that Moses, the servant of God, laid upon Israel in the wilderness. And the other offerings too, Leviticus 27, plus the free will offerings. And you can see here the advantages of this arrangement over the first arrangement. The first arrangement, Levites going out and talking to people, getting the money from them in their districts. Maybe some people they knew didn't think it would go over very well. Well, this arrangement is a better arrangement than the previous one. The first arrangement wasn't a sinful one, it wasn't disobedience to some law of God, but this one has definite advantages. The priests and the Levites now do not have to go to people's homes, knocking on doors, as it were, and saying, now who over here is over the age of 20? That's half a shekel from you, and half a shekel from you, and maybe one of the guys dodging out around the back. There's only one of us here, and the 22-year-old son who isn't married yet, keeping a low profile. They don't have to do anything like that. No awkward situations. And then this was clearly announced to all so that nobody could miss it, giving the people time to think about it. There's the temple there, it needs repaired, yeah, we've got to save up some money. And then, with this second arrangement, the people will give when they're going up to the temple. When they're there, especially engaged in spiritual activities. They're there for their sacrifices. They're there perhaps on the Sabbath. They're there for the three great festivals in Israel. And through this announcement too, it is made clear to them that there is scriptural ground and precedent here. Exodus 30, Leviticus 27, the teaching of the free will offering. And then you see they make this offering at the temple itself. There they are in the court, and they can see the need. There is it, right enough. You can see there's a few blocks that have been damaged there. It really needs it, doesn't it? And so the people see the need in connection with their offering. And as they're giving the offerings at the door to the court of the temple, in a box which is nice and secure with guards around it, they can see that there's going to be no stealing here. And it's really going to get to the temple, because all you have to do is grab one end of it, a couple of men, and cart it in and have it counted in one of the little rooms. It's just a few yards away. So this appeals to the people. And of course the chest gives a greater measure of privacy.